Good morning. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Upper Echelon Podcast, where we keep it real and we keep it jiggy over here. Cause why? Cause we ain't never ever scared. Hit that like button on your way in. Make sure that you go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of any time that I live stream in the future or anytime that I post content in the future. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel as well. If you are interested in donating to my channel, I have my Cash App pinned at the bottom of the screen. Is $UPP 1987. What's going on? Let's see who's in the room with me. What's going on, Josephine? Hey, Honey Williams. Hey, A. Stokes. Hey, Stephanie. Nina. Latte Eminem. Impeccable Shoe Game. Sabi. Rosalind. Lachelle's. Nina, Deborah, Letitia, what's going on, Stormy Black? Hey, Miss Fela. Hey, Penny. Hey, Cree. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Tabby. What's going on, Dreamy Girl? Let's get into this topic really quick. It's not going to be a super long live, but this is really interesting to me. So this morning or last night, I actually found out that Wendy Williams was going to be on the Breakfast Club, and during that interview, she was going to be talking about her conservatorship. Now, this is very interesting to me because I can remember maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, if you guys remember, it was like this big thing where people were doing hashtag free Britney because she was under a conservatorship because her guardian was stating that she was mentally not well. She wasn't able to handle her own finances. So before I get into my take on the interview that Wendy Williams did, I'm going to explain to you guys, for those of you who don't know, because some people don't know, what a conservatorship is. So let me go to this page. I can read it. Okay, so a conservatorship is a legal term referring to the legal responsibilities of a conservator over the affairs of a person who has been deemed gravely disabled by the court and unable to meet their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Under U.S. law, a conservatorship results from the appointment of a guardian or a protector by a judge to manage the personal and financial affairs of another person who is incapable of fully managing their own affairs due to age or physical mental limitations. Now, in some instances, some people need a conservator. Some people truly are incapacitated and are unable to make rational decisions, move about, speak for themselves, so on and so forth. But in this particular interview that Wendy Williams did, now she did it over the phone. Obviously, I can't stream the video because, baby, you'll get struck for playing the Breakfast Club, okay? But this interview took place, I want to say, or it aired anyway, maybe a few hours ago or so, and it was really, really interesting. So Wendy Williams did this her niece. So her niece helped her during well, I wouldn't even say helped her, but her niece spoke as well during the interview, because if you watch it, Wendy was very capable of answering the questions. She was sharp. She was on point. She had humor. Now, I don't know if you guys remember when Wendy Williams, that documentary came out. And in that documentary, for lack of a better term, they really made the documentary made her seem like she was mentally incapacitated. A lot of people were shocked at the way that she was behaving. She was kind of aloof. She wasn't really responsive. She just wasn't herself. So we know that Wendy Williams has been going through like a lot of health issues and stuff like that. But see, the thing about it is that when the courts appoint a conservator, at a certain point, it could be possible that the person after the court order becomes mentally well and becomes able to fend for themselves and make certain decisions for themselves. So it comes to a certain point where even after the conservator is granted, it may not still be needed. And I really think that that's what's happening in this case. I'm gonna play a little bit of her interview from my other device. What's going on, Queen Dree? Hey, Sharice. Hey, Patricia Jefferson. Hey, Diamonds and Pearls. Hey, Nora Talks. And when I tell you that this interview that she did with Charlamagne, or not even just Charlamagne, but the whole Breakfast Club, because it was Charlamagne, it was another a woman interviewer who, I think she was like an intern while Just Hilarious was gone, but she's still there. So I don't know if they're gonna keep her or what. DJ Envy and the crew. So they were all there asking her questions. And it was so, when I tell y'all, it was so good to hear Wendy Williams speak so clearly and so sharply and still be able to laugh through what she was going through. Because when I don't know the one host, the intern that was there when Just Hilarious was gone, but she was there and she was just kind of talking about how initially when she was trying to get a little bit of information from Wendy Williams before the actual interview, she spoke to Wendy. And when she finally got to her residence, she wasn't able to get in. She said that there were people downstairs blocking her from getting in. They were lying to her. They were telling her that Wendy Williams was not upstairs, even though she was on the phone with Wendy Williams when she was in the lobby. They would not let her up to see Wendy. And the lady kind of described it as just being very, very scary. She said it was very scary. She didn't understand. She didn't feel comfortable at all. So I'm gonna play a little bit of that part. But what I want to play to you guys is something that really broke my heart that Wendy Williams said. You know, Wendy Williams' father is will be 94 years old. I think maybe in a couple of weeks or whatever. So he's getting ready to turn 94. And one of her concerns was that, man, my father is getting ready to be 94 years old. Underneath this conservatorship, I can't even use my phone when I want to use it. I can't even go out and shop or buy something for my father before he passes and leaves this earth. I can't go out and pick out things that I like. Wendy Williams, good morning, Impeccable Game. Hey, my 2 cents. Hey, Kimberly. Wendy Williams is not able to use her own cell phone without permission. She cannot receive phone calls. The way they have her phone set up, she can only call people, but they can't call her. She's not allowed to be on social media. She can't scroll through social media. It was one point in this interview where Wendy even said that she only had $15 in her bank account. Now, to me, that is mind-blowing. And if you ask me, that's conservatorship abuse. Are you been working all your life in the media, spending all of your life building yourself up to a certain point, only to have it all taken away because of your mental health? To me, that's crazy. I'm gonna show y'all a picture really quick of her conservator. Let's see, where is it? Because I know So this is her conservator. Her name is Sabrina E. Morrissey. Now, one thing that I did like was, I don't know if you guys can see it, but her name is Sabrina E. Morrissey. So I found a couple of things about her on the internet. So she's a New York attorney. And one thing that I found very concerning was that, let's see, hold on, let me switch the screen over. Darn, I can't. Okay. One thing that I found very concerning was that during the interview that Williams had on the Breakfast Club, she expressed, and when she expressed this, y'all, when I tell you my heart broke for her, and you could tell that she was genuinely afraid. She said, I know that I'm gonna face repercussions from speaking and doing this interview. I know that I'm not going to have a phone. And then she broke down and started crying, y'all. And she said, what am I going to do without my phone? Like, she was genuinely afraid. When I tell y'all, this interview was groundbreaking. I hope that more people bring attention to conservatorship abuse. And I hope that this woman is put on blast for what she's doing. There's no way in the world that this woman should only have $15 at her disposal. That's not right. That's not right. Let's read a little bit about this lady, and then I'm gonna let y'all hear a little bit of what Wendy said. This is Sabrina E. Marissi. This is the conservator for Wendy Williams. It says Marissi and Marissi LLP is a boutique law firm with offices in Midtown Manhattan and New Paltz. Our attorneys have more than 60 years of experience, so she has her own law firm of experience in trust and estates planning, administration and litigation, Article 81 guardianships, and real estate closings. We are regularly consulted by clients and their peers to advise complicated legal problems, and we pride ourselves on the wealth of knowledge and experience we have gained throughout our years of practice. So let me let y'all hear. When I tell y'all, this broke my heart, man. It really did. Hold on, let me pull this up. See, I didn't understand the severity of what this conservatorship abuse really was until when it was going on with Britney Spears. All I knew is that Britney Spears had been displaying some mental health issues in the media, in the public eye, and she probably needed a guardian. But I never, but those, that happened maybe 4 years ago, and back then I'm thinking that there may come a point where that person does not need a guardian anymore. And see, what happened was the things that are being released to the media of Wendy Williams' mental health is being released allegedly. And like her niece said, you have to say allegedly just to protect all sides and all bases. It's just the truth. The attorney Sabrina Morsi is the guardian is actually releasing all of these negative things into the media about Wendy Williams so that she can remain the guardian. Like that documentary that was put out, that had to be approved by the guardian. When you look at that document, what am I trying to say? Documentary, there's no way in the world, with the condition that Wendy Williams was in, that should have been put out for the public to see. She was not in the right state of mind. It was almost like this documentary is simply being released because you want people to see how bad she's doing, so that you can justify continuing to be her guardian. So let me read some comments, and I'm gonna play this. Nora Talk said, I believe Wendy had the wrong people around her. All those people who were in the document. Why am I having a hard time saying documentary? I keep saying I keep wanting to say documentary were fired. That's how Charlamagne got his start. He was an intern on the Wendy Williams show. You know what I find interesting is that Wendy Williams and Charlamagne have not always had the best relationship. I remember there was a time where Wendy Williams and Charlamagne were kind of going at it, and Wendy was kind of being mean to Charlamagne. You know what I mean? Because the top dog in radio and media at the time. But it's so interesting how life works, where sometimes you will need the person that you are treating poorly. And this is not a shot at Wendy, but it comes a time where sometimes you may need a person, you know what I mean? So it's so important to treat people good and to be good to people, because you never know who can help you in the future. Who would have thought that Charlamagne, because Charlamagne, true enough, did get his start with Wendy Williams, but after him leaving her radio show years and years and years ago, they did have a couple of spats with each other. So it's very, very interesting to see that Charlemagne, number one, is mature enough to look past those past spats, and he's able to say, "Hey, this is a peer of mine, who's in the business, who's media, and regardless of whatever issues we've had in the past, number one, she's a African American woman. Number two, she's in the same business as I am. Number three, it was one point where she helped me, and I wouldn't be I am today if it weren't for Wendy Williams. So big shout out to Charlemagne for that, because I love that when somebody can acknowledge where they came from, and the fact that he is, because basically I know this technically this is the Breakfast Club, but come on, Charlemagne is the Breakfast Club. Let's be honest, okay? So I really, that touched my heart that he's helping her. That touched my heart. He actually made a statement. I'm gonna try to pull it up. He made a statement on his Twitter account about conservatorship abuse. My two said it's really crazy. I have been blogging on this topic. Have you? I gotta check it out. I gotta check out your channel and see what you talking about over there. Still don't understand why her family couldn't be involved. I don't understand why see, that's one thing I don't get either. I don't really know how that works, because once you're considered to be deemed mentally incapacitated, the judge puts in an order that you should have a guardianship. My question is, who chooses the guardian? Does your family choose the guardian? Do you choose the guardian? How do you choose the guardian if you're mentally incapacitated? Because we know that she's divorced, but at the same time, she still has her son, Kevin Jr. She still has family, because her niece, and I think that's her niece in that thumbnail, her niece did the interview with her. But so I don't know, and I don't understand why this particular person, Sabrina Morrissey, was chosen to be her guardian, or how that even came about. But it's clear that this woman allegedly is using the media and putting out false statements and putting out false information about Wendy Williams' health, so that she can remain her guardian, so that she can remain in control of her finances. Who knows what this lady is doing with Wendy Williams' money? The woman sat up on a Breakfast Club, and I'm telling you, it blew me out my seat. She said that she only had Wendy Williams. This is Wendy Williams now. She only had $15 to her name. Nortalk said, sounds like she has handlers. Wendy said she worked hard for her money for her son. This lady has a few people under her conservatorship in the industry. Allegedly, this lady was trying to get Justin. Really? Justin Bieber? That's crazy. I remember when Britney Spears went through that. It's definitely conservatory abuse. It's basically no rights. No rights. She can't go where she wants to go. Wendy Williams even said that she literally can't leave her space, her room, her apartment. There's locks on her doors. They tell her when she can leave, when she can shop, when she can use her phone, how she can use her phone. She said that it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And now she's in fear because she believes that she's going to be retaliated against because she did the interview. It's no, sorry, y'all, that's my son's tablet. It's no telling when the next time is that the public is going to hear from Wendy Williams. Now, this was a great, media opportunity for Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club, but I know that they have to be concerned about what is going to happen now that she spoke out. She is afraid that her phone is going to be taken away from her. I mean, I just don't know what can be done about this situation. When you listen to her, she clearly, now she does stumble over words here and there, and or whatever, and she is kind of jumps around a little bit. But Charlemagne explained that has nothing to do with her mental health. It's more so that Wendy was kind of trying not to say certain things because of legal reasons. The conservatory did the documentary. Okay, to try to justify and make Wendy look unfit to keep her money in their pockets. Facts. Treasure said, I agree, Upper. Don't burn any bridges. You never know who you may end up needing. Big facts. Nortalk said that's because Wendy was blaming Charlemagne for her husband's affair, allegedly. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Mama Six said Wendy and Charlemagne fell out because Charlemagne was assisting her husband to cheat with his mistress. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that either. So if that is true, allegedly, because I didn't know that, it could be possible that Charlemagne is helping her out of guilt. Because you want to know what? I'm not saying that the two are connected, but Wendy Williams' health, mental state really did start to decline after the divorce. And sometimes, traumatic situations can cause a mental decline. Sometimes mental health, a decline in mental health can be sparked by traumatic events in your life. And yes, for anybody, a divorce is a traumatic event, but the things that Wendy went through could really cause somebody to have a mental health emergency. I mean, not only did she have a divorce, but her husband cheated on her with a younger woman. It was all in every single magazine, on every single entertainment news show, all in the tabloids. The whole world got a front row seat to her embarrassment. And during that time, a lot of people were saying that they were happy that Wendy was being embarrassed in that way. And they were saying that it was her karma because of the way that she talked to people on her show, the way that she covered entertainment stories. A lot of celebrities aren't really feeling Wendy, but a lot of celebrities don't. Most bloggers, because a blogger's job, or I wouldn't even call her a blogger. She's at that, she was a radio show personality. But a lot of people didn't like Wendy. A lot of celebrities didn't like Wendy because her job was to give her opinion, her true feelings, uncut, unfiltered. And she did it very well. But that comes with stuff. That comes with people not liking you. That comes with you not being invited to certain events. But, it takes a strong person to think about it, y'all. I'm going to get back on her conservatorship, but think about it, you guys. Imagine being Wendy Williams. I want every blogger to imagine being Wendy Williams, even though she's not a blogger. It's essentially doing the same job. If you're doing entertainment news, imagine being her. Because even in this really, really small sector, if you give your opinion on anything or anyone, you're going to be drugged for 15 days. And a lot of people can't take it. So imagine being Wendy, having to give your opinion raw and uncut and unfiltered, because that is your brand. And just not really being liked by a whole lot of people. There was a interview that she had done years and years ago with Whitney Houston, where Whitney Houston and her were kind of getting snippy with each other because Whitney didn't like her, because she said, you're always talking about me. You're always talking about my life. You don't know anything about me. Like, Whitney was going in, and y'all know Whitney was a firecracker. So she was going in. But that's the type of thing that comes with, that's the nature of the job. And Wendy was able to handle that very well. But it's kind of hard on a person when you know that you have all of these people that don't really like you, and then something horrible happens in your life, like your husband cheats on you and has a baby with his mistress and leaves you and tries to take your money, and all of this is all around social media. And instead of people sympathizing with you, they're happy that you're going through it. That is traumatic. That is traumatic. And people handle things, different things differently. Let me turn this ringer off. People handle things differently. And I'm not saying it's a fact that, that's the reason that her mental health declined the way that it did. But it is quite ironic that Wendy's mental health started to fail, not even mental health, but physical health really started to fail after all of that stuff happened in the media with the divorce and the scandal with the mistress and all of that. If y'all remember, she fainted online, and soon, like after that happened, or when the rumors started going. Okay, so I think it took a toll on her, and it could be that she's doing better now. You know what I mean? Yes, Upper, you need to do a deep dive into this because it is very interesting. It is. Brittany was set up by her own family. Wasn't it her father? I believe it was her father that she was fighting against. It wasn't even a law firm. It was her father. Diamonds and Pearl says, it's sad. She was trying to protect what she knows, which triggered mental illness. Her divorce and what she knows about certain entertainment and their threat to her. All of it was a trigger. True. Treasure says, Upper, do you know if mental illness was the cause of her passing out on TV? That still trips me. That's funny. I didn't even see that comment and I read it. I'm not sure. It could have been. And the reason that I say it could have been is because a lot of when people deal with mental health, if they're in a mental health crisis, if mental health can be induced by an onslaught of different things. Okay, so you can start dealing with mental health because or mental health issues because it's hereditary. You can deal with mental health issues because a traumatic situation happened in your life. Mental health can be induced by drugs. It could be what you would call drug-induced psychosis. It can even be induced by drinking alcohol. If people are affected different. I'm telling you, the body is a strange thing. It can be induced by a lot of different things. So that's why reason I say that the passing out could have something to do with it is because a lot of times when people start dealing with mental health, they begin to not take care of themselves as much as they should, health wise, hygiene wise, a lot of different things. Could be she hadn't been eating properly, and that could have caused her to faint because she was not nourishing her body. That could be it too. I know, Wendy did speak on that she did have pre-existing, I think, thyroid issues and stuff like that. So I can't say for sure if that's why she passed out on TV, but that was very, that was very, very strange when that happened. Britney Spears spent 13 years in a conservatorship that she was wrongfully put into. Britney was no different from all of the other Paris Hiltons, Lindsay Lohans, etc. Thyroid. Graves' disease is thyroid, right? She passed out because of complications of Graves' disease. Isn't Graves' disease like a thyroid problem? Nortalk says her husband brought his mistress a house right down the street from where Wendy lived. Yep. Here in New Jersey. Wendy is a journalist and no different than Joan Rivers. Whitney was not to be played with either. Joan Rivers was harsh though. She might have been worse than Whitney Williams. Because when I look at some of the old Joan Rivers, but you know what? I can't lie. Like I said, stuff comes with having to be that personality. You know what I mean? Or having that personality in the media. You got to be okay with people not liking you. You got to be okay with that. So I think it takes a strong person to be able to do what Joan Rivers did and Wendy Williams. And I love that comparison, Nora Talks, because Wendy Williams, I love that because as a Black woman, Wendy Williams gets a lot of heat for the way that she conducts her interviews, for the way that she reviews entertainment news and things that happen in the media. But Joan Rivers did the same thing, and I think she might have been a little worse. Like Joan Rivers was straight look you up and down and call you ugly. Like, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't get that same heat, and I think that a lot of that comes with the racial issues, in society where Black women are over. People are, we are expected to behave a certain way, and if we don't, then we're immediately labeled that the mean, angry bitch. And it has a lot to do with skin color, because a white woman can do the same thing that Wendy Williams has done, and they have, because like you said, Nora Talks, can't forget about Joan Rivers, and they don't get the same backlash as Wendy Williams gets. And Joan Rivers was loved in the journalism. I wouldn't call it journalism, but in the media, in the entertainment world. Joan Rivers was loved in the entertainment world. And didn't she pass away not too long ago? Okay, so I gotta scroll down a little bit. Okay, so let me take this down. Hey, Miss Sexy Ray. Hey, everybody coming in. Okay, so I'm gonna play a little bit of this interview, y'all. I want to play this part because this part, when I tell you, it almost made me cry. Let's see. And this is where this part that I'm getting ready to play, I'm gonna play a little bit more. But this particular part, she's speaking on her father. He's 94, so she knows, he's not gonna live forever. And she was kind of expressing how she feels with her father being that old and she can't even move around like she wants to. And she kind of just broke down. Diamonds and Pearls said, I had my thyroid removed. I promise you it's no joke. On medication for the rest of my life. Ladies, please, when you get your blood work done, ask to get your thyroid checked. Thank you for that advice. Thank you. Hold on.
It's not promised. It's not right. And to know that she may not be able to come down here for my grandfather's 90th. The entire family now lives in Miami, and look, my son is doing such a great job. As a matter of fact, I saw him. Look, he graduated, and I was in Miami, and that was about a month ago. Yep. Alex, talk about the great time that we had, and seeing my dad. We all went out and had like a party at one point. Yeah.
Your dad's gonna be 94 next month, right?
Listen. My dad,
that's a whole nother conversation.
94, that's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't know whether I'm allowed Miami to say happy birthday to my dad. Wow. To get him, I want to get him. Look. Well, that person that you talked about who's holding me hostage.
Sabrina Morrissey, your guardian. We got to say her name. We got to put her name out there. Sabrina Morrissey.
Well, listen. I don't know that she's going to let me because she already said to see my dad for his birthday. He's going to be 94. So, and all I can, look. Please continue to talk, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, look, can I say something out too?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know, you lost your grandmother, Alex. Wendy, you lost your mother. You were in the conservatorship when that happened.
Here's the thing. She was not in a conservatorship when that happened. Oh. But that period of time was right before. And to know that she may not be able to come down here for my grandfather's 94th birthday. Every day is not promised. Right, One thing that I know that my aunt wanted, and we talk about this ad nauseum, she wants to be here for his birthday. Wow. And the fact that they're playing games about my grandfather being able to see his daughter and my aunt being able to see her father, I'm sorry. That is just absolutely sickening.
Like, I'm exhausted thinking about what if I can't see my dad for his birthday? At 94, the day after that is not promised. It's not promised. I have things from my dad that's in storage. And they're little things that I say, I'm not going to give it to him, but I'm going to sew them and make them so that they look perfect on me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know how to sew. I've known how to sew for years. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, I want to give my dad some sort of fragrance. I want to go to Sephora and pick and choose. What? Right now, I feel my life is fucked up.
Yeah.
It is.
Alex, do you think that there'll be some type of retaliation from the Guardian because of maybe this phone call or because of wow.
We talked about that. Mm-hmm. My aunt, even with her wanting to come on, we talked about all scenarios. I said, do this. You're ready for what's on the other side. And as she said, I have to do this. There's nothing else I could do at this point. She's prepared for the fact that her phone might be taken away.
What if they take my phone? I won't be able to talk to anybody.
Yeah. And, you all, what you're hearing now, this is a few-minute clip of what we've been dealing with for the last several months and the last 2-3 years.
Wow. What the hell?
She can get moved and we may not even know where she is.
Wow.
That was the reality of where she was during the documentary. we weren't permitted to go see her. So this whole documentary aired. Nobody's able to call her. Nobody's able to see her. You know, the reason why I was doing the stuff with The View and Good Morning America was because she was nowhere to be found.
Wow. In the meantime, you know,
what are we going to do about that?
Listen, here's the weird thing, right? And while you're on The View, right, I got the telephone number. I could call Joy Behar, but my number is with The Guardian. I could call my friend Rosanna Scotto. I could call Fat Joe. I could call Alex. My number is not in storage, but my Guardian person has my phone. God damn.
Alex, let me ask you a question.
Come on, man. Come on, man. This ain't right. This ain't right. I don't even know Wendy, and I'm getting pissed off by this. How is this shit being allowed? How are you allowed to tell somebody that they are now, you're as the guardian, it is your job to make sure that they are not making frivolous decisions with their finances, that no one is, you as their guardian, you are supposed to be protecting them so that nobody takes advantage of them because you know they can't make the proper decisions or whatever. But how is it how is you being a guardian, basically you're abusing your power. You're going to tell this woman that you have to think about it for her to go see her father who's 94 years old, and like Wendy said, after 94 years old after a 94th birthday, tomorrow is not promised. And it's crazy that during that documentary that her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, and their team would not allow her family to call her or to check on her. We recently saw a photo of Wendy Williams at her son's high school graduation. Not a picture, but a video. Yeah, I think it was a video that went viral where she looked completely normal. She was talking, she was engaging with the people there. She didn't look out of it at all. So I'm thinking that this is a false narrative that is being spun. Somebody asked a really, really good question earlier where they said, how does a judge, and I just looked this up, so I don't know how accurate this is, but I thought the question was interesting. How does a judge choose your guardian? You know, like how does that work? So I typed it in on Google. It says a judge chooses a guardian considering the best interest. They need to go back. Okay, they need to redo this shit because obviously I couldn't even finish reading what this said because obviously this is not in her best interest. But let's continue. A judge chooses a guardian by considering the best interest of the person needing guardianship, evaluating factors like their relationship to the potential ward, ability to provide care, financial stability, character, and any relevant medical information, ultimately selecting the person most capable of managing the ward's affairs at a court hearing where evidence is presented and the potential guardian can be examined. The judge may also appoint a guardian ad litem to investigate and advocate for the ward's best interest. Okay, that's a good explanation. However, my question is, how does the judge, how do they pick? Is there a selection of guardians that may be suitable that Wendy selected and then the judge made the final decision? Or does the judge literally choose for you who the guardian is? Or are you even able to, like, this is insane. Let me read a little bit more. Key points about choosing a guardian. Primary consideration. The court's primary focus is always on what is best for the person needing a guardian. The ward. Evidence presented. A hearing is held where evidence is presented regarding the potential guardian's suitability, including testimony from witnesses and medical reports. Factors considered. Factors like the guardian's financial situation, health, character, relationship to the ward, and ability to provide proper care are evaluated. Guardian ad litem. In many cases, a court appoints a guardian ad litem to investigate the situation and represent the ward's best interest in the process. This is interesting to me because As you guys know, I do work in child protection, so I'm used to dealing with guardian ad litems, or GALs is what we call them. And I always thought that GALs were for children, but apparently a GAL is for anybody who legally cannot make their own decisions. I did not know. I learned something new today. So the ward's input. This is what I want to see. While the court is not bound by the ward's wishes, ain't this some bullshit? Listen to this. While the court is not bound by the ward's wishes, their preference may be considered depending on their capacity to make decisions. So basically, that's saying that the courts may give you the opportunity to decide who you want to be your guardian, but it is not guaranteed. In fact, it's possible that they may not consider, because wording is everything. It's very possible, because it says may is used there. And it also says the court is not bound. It's not for sure. It's not for certain. They don't have to incorporate the ward, and the ward would be Wendy. They don't have to incorporate the ward's wishes as far as who their guardian is, depending on the wards, or the ward of the state, which is Wendy's capacity to make decisions. Something within the laws, and I'm sure that this is I'm sure that this is a basic general overview, and it's not in super detailed, because I just Googled it really quick. And I'm sure that a lot of this stuff varies state to state. But my thing is, because I know that Wendy is in the state of New York, my question is, if you are unable, because of your mental health, you're unable to pick your own guardian, why would it not be considered that a family member would be able to come forward, and if they are not able to be your guardian, that they would at least be able to choose for you, because your family would know you more than anybody else, right? So why would a judge sit up there and decide who her guardian should be, instead of her son, or her, like the niece, that's the niece that is in the interview? You know, why weren't these people considered? You know, you got to be, listen, you got to be careful when you have a lot of money, because when you are as filthy rich as Wendy Williams is, everybody is out for a piece of your money. And I think it is absolutely insane. What's going on, Miss Fee? It's absolutely insane that this woman's family was not considered in the decision on who her guardian would be. And she's sitting up here on the Breakfast Club, scared of her guardian. She said that she knows that there's going to be repercussions for her coming on to the Breakfast Club. I really hope that there is some sort of proactive plan that was put together by the Breakfast Club or somebody else that's going to help her, because she took a chance by coming on that show and speaking. Somebody needs to be in contact with her family to make sure that she is not being abused, because she was spoke out against her guardian. She sat there and cried and said, "Oh my God, what if they take my phone?" You can hear the fear in her voice. There's no way in the world that she's not in prison. Even if she is dealing with mental health, she should not be locked into a room and have to ask permission to leave. Why can't she have entertainment by having her phone? She said that her guardian literally controls her phone. Something needs to change about the laws when it comes to that. This is not right. And then it goes on to say that, the judge chooses a guardian by considering the best interest of the person that's in need of the guardian, by evaluating the relationship to the guardian's relationship to the ward of the state, the guardianship's ability to provide care, the guardian's character. So as we can see, all of those things that I just named are clearly questionable regarding this guardian, Sabrina Morrissey. So why Are they not taking this back to court and trying to get, even if they deem that Wendy still needs a guardian, which I really don't think she does. I think she just needs her family. Then why can't this go back to court and she can choose somebody who she's more comfortable with? Mental health or not, she's still a human being. She's still a human. And she has the right to be able to decide who has control over her estate and her money. You know, this is not right. Like when I tell you I was so upset listening to that interview. Because they're taking advantage of her. I don't understand, because you want over your child, you can become the guardian. I don't know why her son can't be her guardian. Now, I don't know, but I don't know how old her son is. I know he recently just graduated from college. So it's quite possible that maybe her son didn't have time to be her guardian because he was off to school and stuff. But if that was my mom, so I'd have had to put some things on hold. Okay. I would have been, I love that her niece is speaking with her, and she is expressing everything very well. And I love that Wendy has somebody, you know. And even her niece said during that documentary they put out, her family wasn't even able to contact her. They're hiding this woman from the world because they want the guardianship. Sabrina E. Morrissey is constantly releasing false information, allegedly, to the media, saying that Wendy is mentally incapacitated. To be mentally incapacitated means you can't wipe your own butt. This lady is having a full-blown conversation with the Breakfast Club, making sense, humorous, full of personality, full of life. She seems very fine to me. She does not sound like someone who's mentally incapacitated. So what this interview did with the Breakfast Club is, it proved that her guardian is a liar. This interview, for me, it was groundbreaking because it proved that her guardian is a liar and a thief. And they're taking advantage of this Black woman. I know the color ain't got nothing to do with it, I guess you could say, but come on. Hold on, let me pull this up. You think this woman care about Wendy Williams' well-being? Do this look like this woman needs to be Wendy Williams' guardian and she has her best interest at heart? I mean, hell no. And she's going to continue to say that Wendy Williams is mentally incapacitated because she wants to keep her money in her pockets. She wants to have that control. They're stealing from her. Come on, allegedly. Gotta throw that allegedly at the end. But that's what it looked like to me. Right, Queen Dree, don't give our family to a stranger. It's clearly about the money. Nortalk said absolutely agree. Facts upper. Going to court is so frustrating and scary. I went through a couple of custody battles. All these family members she has, and none of them could be picked over this lady. See, the judge was the one that made the ultimate decision. And you know what's sad? That what she said that was sad in this interview? She said that for the past 3 years, she has spent her birthday alone. For the past 3 years. These people don't care about her. These people don't care if she's living her finest quality of life. They don't care. All they care about is keeping her money in their control. They don't care. They're taking her money. I believe they're stealing from her. That's what I believe. Because you're supposed to make sure that person's quality of life is good. Keeping her away from her family, making her spend her birthdays alone. They finally let her go somewhere. They let her go to her son's college graduation, but they are in total control of this woman's life. That's some scary shit. Imagine somebody taking your phone and telling you when you can use it, and then setting your phone up to where nobody can call you, but you can call them. Locking you in. Imagine you in your house or your apartment right now. Imagine locks on the outside of the door. and you can't get out unless your guardian tells you you can come out. You can't go to any family functions unless your guardian tells you that you can go. Imagine working your ass off your whole for decades and decades to become a multi-millionaire only to run into a mental health crisis and be granted a guardian that takes your money away and takes your freedom away. And all of that you work for, you can't even enjoy it. These people are fucking thieves. They thieves, allegedly. No, I gotta keep saying that. That would be considered abuse. It's abuse. Wendy has no rights. See, I didn't know. I see this. See, I didn't know all of this was going on with a conservatorship. Like I said, I knew like little bits and pieces about the Britney Spears situation. You know, I knew that she had been displaying some odd behavior in the media, and I just assumed that she needed a damn guardian. She was running around shaving her head off, busting windows with umbrellas. I didn't know what the hell Britney was going through, okay? But then when you think about it, she may have had a mental health crisis back then. But come on, that because somebody in the comments earlier said Britney Spears was under conservatorship for 10 years. 10 years. If you're going through a mental health situation and having a mental health breakdown at one point in life, and then you're granted a guardian, it's quite possible that 2 or 3 years later, you might not need one anymore. But they kept Britney under that conservatorship because they wanted to control her money, even though she wasn't really dealing with any mental health issues at the time. They just wanted that, and this was her own family doing this. They said the son was stealing and abusing her money. I didn't know that. Something came out that he was stealing her money and racked up a huge Uber Eats bill in that. What? I feel like I heard something about her son having to go to court for something regarding one of her accounts or something like that. First of all, how do you rack up an Uber Eats bill from using her credit card? Well, can't trust him then, you know. I don't believe it either, Treasure. I think at the same time, Wendy was helping and taking care of her son. They're lying. I work with people who are mentally challenged, and Wendy is not it at all. Right? They should be making her comfortable. She should most definitely be able to see her dad. What the F they mean? Something is wrong with that. Me too, dreamy girl. It was a setup to keep him away. She loves her son and he loves her. Nortalk said allegedly it was stated that her son misused her monies. Wendy stated that she was aware of that money her son was spending. She gave him access to her money. Okay. Mama Six said Wendy had to put herself out there like, hold on a second. Wendy had to put herself out there like it was the only way Britney got out of hers. I don't remember, how did Britney Spears, I don't remember how did Britney Spears get out of her conservatorship. I remember she got out. When she got out, a lot of people were making a big ruckus. A lot of people were hashtag Britney, all of the celebrities. I even think Cher, you know, Cher from Sonny and Cher, even Cher spoke up for Britney Spears. So I'm gonna need all of these celebrities that spoke up for Britney Spears back in the day to do the same for Whitney Houston. I commend Charlamagne for taking a stand for this black woman who's being abused and controlled. And I want to see just as much outrage for Wendy Williams that I saw for Britney Spears. Everywhere you turn, you heard about the Britney Spears conservatorship. Everywhere you turn, this has been going. A lot of people have been suspecting guardianship abuse regarding Wendy Williams for quite some time. And when I heard that she was getting ready to go on the Breakfast Club, man, I dropped my kids off this morning and I sat in my car and listened to that thing. And I said, I got to go live. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay, it's Treasure said her fans protested. Yeah. Yep. All right, y'all. I've been on here almost an hour. You know, I appreciate you guys for sitting with me and listening. What I want y'all to do, if you haven't done it, please go type in the Breakfast Club on YouTube. It'll take you straight to the page. And watch this interview from beginning to end. And make sure that you at the very beginning, because at the very beginning of this interview, I think it might be like 27 minutes long. One of the co-hosts speaks about her experience even trying to talk to Wendy Williams or meet with her. It was damn near impossible. Damn near impossible. And the woman, the co-host, the intern at the Breakfast Club, she said that she was told that before she can even speak to Wendy, before she can even speak to her, she has to go through Sabrina. And we now know that Sabrina E. Morrissey is her guardian. So this lady is in total control. And then even after she spoke to Sabrina, she still wasn't allowed to meet with Wendy. Like I said earlier in the live, even though Wendy was on the phone. Imagine being on the phone with somebody and they're telling you, yeah, come up to my apartment, come upstairs. Yeah, we can sit and we can talk. What's going on? And the people hear Wendy on the phone and they still wouldn't let her upstairs. What are they hiding? What are they hiding here? You know what I mean? Mama said Brittany worked the whole time she was in the conservatorship. Yeah, because she had like a contract out there in Vegas, right? Or something like that, where she was performing in Vegas for a while. But I thought you had to not be able to take care of yourself. Right. How are you able to get on stage, dance, sing, remember your lyrics and everything else, but you're not mentally able to care for yourself? Come on, let's be for real. This stuff is about money. But you guys, I'm getting ready to go ahead and jump off because I got to get to work. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure if you didn't like the video that you go ahead and like the live stream. Hit the notification bell if you haven't done that yet. And also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. Thank you guys and enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back hopefully by the weekend. Okay. Love y'all. Peace.